Hello, it's Blackbird with yoga and coffee. Today we're outside in the park. This is actually a park bench, but we're looking at the top of it. And it's about yay high, yeah, so it's not too high, just kind of like a countertop. Today I'm going to be stretching with my coffee by just putting my leg up on the beautiful wood and thinking of sitting really tall. There's a couple ways to play with this. The toes on the ground, which you don't see, they can be facing the rest of the surface straight on. And if possible, if you can push your hips backward, you'll already feel these rotators underneath you and the hamstrings underneath. Woo, it's gonna be a good morning hamstrings kind of stretch today. So you already feel that. If you feel like it's too intense, you can always bend your knee. You can shake it out. You can bend the other knee. But the idea is to lean as far forward as you can and not lean on your joint. So you want to be off the joint, either up higher than the joint, counting your knee, or lower than the joint, depending on you. Sometimes I start like, whoo, okay, this is enough for me right now. And then a little bit later, the longer I stay there, I can go a little lower. Enjoy the beautiful sun. And sip some coffee and watch the kids playing at the park. And you can also try to get all the way to your toes or past your toes if you're already there. So this is the forward fold. And just love those hamstrings. Just notice how much of a pressure it might be. And then you can turn yourself sideways a little bit better. And then notice if your hip goes up, you actually want to turn it downward. So if your leg gets too far behind you, it's going to be in the way with your hip. So just like in ballet and jazz, we keep our legs a little bit forward of our body, so it's kind of like a diagonal forward. That's the way our hip joints are made, so that you can sink it down. I used to think of, as a mom, having my toddler sit here, or a sack of potatoes, or a grocery bag, or something, something that's gonna, your books if you're a college student, so that you can press downward in this area while this is lengthening upward on this side. So you always have these oppositions. So at first I just want to reach straight up to the sky, because that feels amazing. And then there's two ways to play with this as well. You can, round yourself over this way. You can lengthen yourself this way. So if you lengthen, you're going to actually be pushing your hips down and out to the diagonal. And notice on this side, the greater trochanter has to adjust sometimes. So if you feel like there's a click or a pop, you decide if it's okay for your body. I gently wiggle my way into it so that my muscle sheath goes into a nice place around my bone. But I understand that that's kind of a clicky spot for some people. So reaching out and up, I just popped my back in the lower areas. That was beautiful. Reaching up and out helps lengthen your spine more, but then there's also something to be said about trying to get lower and lower. Then you'll start to feel it more in your hamstrings. Love your legs. Mwah. All right, let's do the other side. Woo. So the other part about getting your leg up there is to try to pull your knee up as high as you can. And then all you have left is to extend the lower leg. Hello, little birdies. I always have birds that visit me. I don't know if you can see in the shot. So again, we're going to push your hips backward and notice your foot. I like to slightly turn it out, but at least it's all kind of pointing the same direction. And then notice if you're totally flexing your foot, then you're going to have like a tension in your calf muscles, so you can kind of roll out your ankle and relax it a little bit better. So I'm pushing my hips down and out like my tailbone is coming. See my beautiful feathers? And then I'm not looking at, or not on my top of my knee. I am not on top of the joints. Feels so good. And all the while, you can just have your coffee in the morning, a quick little 5-minute stretch. And I have sunglasses on my head, but if I didn't, I can like roll my neck a little bit. Your whole spine is connected, so the more you can do, the better. This time, I'm gonna give you a little extra on this side. I'm gonna twist my body opposite and take my pinky and pinky swear myself to my other pinky. I'm gonna go past my pinkies. Just lots of beautiful twisted spine stretch. Yeah, it feels good. Love your legs, they do so much for you. And then I'm going to turn it out just a little bit. Oh, there's another beautiful big bird. And so notice if you push your hips up versus pushing them down, there's a difference. And again, I'm just gonna start with reaching up to the sky. Beautiful day. And noticing all the wonderful things around me. If you're inside, you can imagine, put yourself wherever you like. And then I'm gonna go a little bit lower, but I'm gonna still reach out and up. And notice the straight line of my spine in the back. So there's this roundness that you might feel. Go back up to where you can feel straight and you can stick your booty out to the back. Yes, men, I'm talking to you too. And then there's the roundness of actually going all the way in. I like to pull my elbow to the inside. You're also using your core muscles just to balance yourself while you do all of this. That's great. Awesome. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining Blackbird with Coffee and Yoga. If you like these, there's a bunch of other free ones under Blackbird University on YouTube. Enjoy.